we're going to work this little section right here. It's small enough just to show everybody. Alright, good morning everybody. We're going to start off with silicone removal. As everybody knows that the DRV is using the GeoCell silicone. It's not holding up going down the road. I don't even think it's holding up 6 months directly from the factory. I've talked to several people there. They think that GeoCell maybe has changed something in the formula. I thought by now they would have at least asked, but I don't know if they have or not. But it's just not holding up, and people are paying to have the silicone removed and put GeoCell right back on, and it's failing within a year. What I'm going to share with you today is on how to remove the silicone and then how to turn around and put Lexel silicone adhesive on it. It's not just silicone, it's an adhesive silicone, and it's all about the prep. You got to have the prep right. If you get the prep right, it's going to hold up. Right now, the rig next door over here, Rusty and Sandy Creekmore's rig, has had a Lexel on it for almost 2 years, and there's no failure anywhere on it. It's still flexible. It's still, you can still put a fingernail into it, and it's holding on both sides. So it's not pulled away at all, and it's been almost 2 years now. So this is the solution. Now I can tell you, once you put the Lexel on there, it is a pain in the butt to remove it because it is a silicone adhesive. This definitely helps. So some of the tools we're going to be using today is, and this product cannot be purchased by individuals. It's Acrosolve. It's a company called Crest. I have spoke with them, and I filled out the application with them. I'm going to be able to start purchasing this here very shortly within the next few days. So we'll set it up in a way that when you guys are ready to do this, just send me an email. We'll run it through their system, and I'll just change the billing address and ship it to wherever you guys do that want it to go to. I'll do that for you guys because you can't get it. It's for professional body painters, body removal and car paint, tractors. A lot of the fire department. What's that company on I-10 that makes fire trucks? They use it a lot, and it's just I don't know, for some reason they won't let us buy it. So I'll be able to buy it here real soon. We're going to be using mineral spirits, and then we're also going to be using, in this jar here, I just have some in here. This is just, if you go to any auto parts store or whatever, this is just a wax remover, just paint prep, something you would wipe on the paint to remove all the contaminants and dirt and everything off of it before you would paint a vehicle. And you can get it in the painting section at AutoZone or O'Reilly's. It'll say wax removal or something like that, or bug removal, wax removal, but you got a better name for it? No. No? Okay. I know that you're into your car detailing quite a bit, so. Alright, so the tools I use. You can get this, which is a caulking finishing set. You can get this at Lowe's. It's just a couple dollars. You're not going to use the smoothing out the silicone side because I'm old school. I use my finger. I recommend using your finger because it's a better contour than what you're going to get with this. What I use is the tool that comes in on the sharp edges for removing the old silicone out of the cracks and along the trim. Also from Harbor Freight, I found that these work pretty good. These are body panel removal tools for removing body panels on your cars. They're very cheap at Harbor Freight. And all you do is, when they start wearing down, you just take a sander or something and you just put a sharp edge back on them again. All you're looking for is something that's not going to scratch your surface, and you're going to be able to get in here and pull out the silicone. Okay, once you put this on here. Now, when I'm finished talking, I'm going to go ahead and take the top off of the Acrosolve, and all I'm going to do is just run a bead of it straight across. We're just going to let that sit for just a few minutes and let it start working. Before Mike Wick told me about this product here, and actually this is Mike's can here, I was actually having to put Goo Gone Professional on here, let it sit, get soft, work it like crazy, pull it off, then put it on again, work it like crazy. It was taking me 2 days to do a 40-foot DRV. The first day and part of the next morning is nothing but removal of silicone. And then the caulking process, the reapplying the silicone, goes very fast once your prep is done. Can't stress enough that prep is very important because it will not stick and hold up if you don't do the prep properly. Alright. This little tool here is by Hyde. This is my favorite tool. And I don't remember where I got it. I think it was Home Depot. Lowe's doesn't carry this, and might have got it off Amazon because I buy everything off Amazon. But the reason why I like this tool is you got a right and a left side for, with a sharp edge for scraping along the paint surface. But if you ever had like a dozer with a big hook on the back, it's got a nice little hook on the back that's really nice to get in there and hook, and you can pull, and it just gets in there and pulls the silicone out really well.
What's it called?
It's Hyde makes it. It's just a silicone removal tool by Hyde, Hyde. And then you also have the middle one here that you can get in there and then just go along the surface. And because it's plastic, it's not going to scratch up your paint. Now, one of the things about DRV that bothers me a little bit is they do not let the paint cure all the way. The paint, most of the time the paint is not cured all the way when they come behind you and they come behind and silicone it. So when you start stripping silicone out, you are going to pull up paint. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to start freaking out thinking you're pulling all your paint off. You're going to have sections of gray or burgundy that's going to come off. It's because it's permanently bonded to the paint the way they put it on there before it cured. Don't freak out too bad about it. Just make sure you got enough solvent on there that's going to remove it, because you're going to put silicone right back on top of it, and it won't be very noticeable when you're finished. But the odds, there's 0% chance you're going to strip your entire rig without pulling paint off. It's not going to happen. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try this. You're welcome to come up and look. I'm just going to take this point in here, and I'm just going to put it in there, and I'm just pulling just across here. There's all the silicone right there. That was right there in the crack. Then I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to turn around and go with the sharp edge of the tool. I'm going to go along the top surface and get what's on the paint. I'm going to wipe it down. And I've got the top and the bottom. Now what I normally do, instead of going back to the Acrosol, what I found works really good is a combination of the mineral spirits. Now that the mineral spirits is on there, I'm going to go to something a little bit firmer. I can put a little bit more pressure into this. And all I'm going to do is just pull that silicone right out of there. And that's what was on the surface. And then get what's on the piece of trim there. Get that off of there. We'll look at it. You do not have to remove every bit of this. Okay, what you're trying to do is where someone, we'll say someone, made a really wide bead and it's ugly. You don't need a wide bead. You don't need it 2 inches thick. All you need is a nice little firm application of silicone right down there where the two pieces meet. Okay, and so it'll be flexible. I'm going to go back one more time right into the crack where the two pieces meet, and I'm going to pull it out one more time. So I got a little more out that time. I'm going to spray it one more time with mineral spirits. And when you go, make sure you get the chemical resistant bottles, because if you get just a regular spray bottle, it's going to melt the straw inside. And I'm just going to come back now and wipe it and clean it up. I don't use microfibers for this because you're going to ruin it's throwaway in here in just a few minutes. So I buy the rags by the bag over there on the table. Okay. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now mineral spirits leaves back a little film. That's still not ready for you to put silicone back on it. So this is where the wax removal comes in. You can also use acetone, just something, or denatured alcohol. What you want to do is make sure you have a nice prep surface. I'm just going to dip that in there. And all I'm going to do is just go across here on the trim and on the body panel there and work it in. Okay, so that's now ready. I'm going to let that dry for just a second. I'm going to grab the Lexel, let that dry, and you'll know when it's ready because you're going to hear from smooth here to everything is stripped down to the paint. It's ready to accept the Lexel. Let me grab my caulk gun. Now when I cut my tips, I try and cut the tip right at the end, a little bit less than a 45-degree angle, and then I come back on the top with a razor blade and I round just the top off a little bit, so that way when I'm squirting, when I'm squeezing the silicone out, it's also coming on top. That's going to give me a nice little round over piece of silicone that goes across here. Here, can you hand me your eyebrow? Now when you start working with the Lexel, you don't have very long at all. This stuff will skim over very, very quickly. So you don't want to work in huge sections. You want to work in small, manageable sections. What I used to do is I used to go across here with the Lexel, put it across there, and then I still do that. I will still use mineral spirits on my... Yes, sir.
My rig is, I don't have a barn to put it in. It's on the outside. Is there... Do you need to be doing that with some kind of shade?
I've done it. I've done it in full shade. Yesterday I was doing it on Phil Carpenter's rig in full sun. No issues whatsoever. Just small sections. Just know that when you got low humidity and sun beating right on you, work in small sections. That's with anything I'm going to show you today, because almost all this stuff evaporation and it'll start curing, or it may skim over really quickly. But
what kind of length do you call a small section?
I would do this whole section at once here. If I was doing that section back there, the long section we're going to work on next, I would do half of it. And what I try and do is I try and find a stopping point where I'll start at one and I'll stop on a color, right where a color meets. So that way it's not going to be noticeable too much. And so what I would normally do in the past was I would go across here, I would dip my finger in mineral spirits, and I would smooth it out and be very careful not to push too hard or too lightly, so you get it in there so you don't get the real wide, ugly silicone up on your paint body. Okay. So what I've discovered by YouTube, and I've been trying it for the past couple of days, and I tried it a little bit last week on another rig, and I'm very happy with it, is any kind of spray glass cleaner. Okay, it needs to be ammonia free. Almost all your cans are going to be ammonia free. Don't use Windex, it has ammonia in it. But if you take the glass cleaner, and you're going to see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put my silicone bead where I want it. I'm going to cover it completely with a mist of foam from this. What this is going to do is it's going to lubricate the trim, and it's going to lubricate the body panel, but it's not going to lubricate underneath the silicone because it's blocking it. Then you can spray your finger with this, but I found that it's still not slick enough. Sometimes you'll get a drag mark, so I'm still going to spray mineral spirits on my finger when I go across. It does work with this, but you got to make sure you keep your finger lubricated, where the mineral spirits, I know it's going to be lubricated. So let's go ahead and do a section, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And I'll try and do it from down here so everybody can see. Okay, and at this point here, I stop. You don't worry about trying to dry the glass cleaner off. That glass cleaner is going to evaporate. I immediately wipe my finger because I have mineral spirits on it. I don't have any silicone on me. I don't have any silicone spread anywhere other than that bead that I ran. So in just a minute, this is going to dry, and we're going to have a nice, pretty, consistent bead all the way down. The bead consistency is going to be based on the initial line that you put on, because the spray cleaner is going to prevent it from sticking to it, the glass cleaner that we put on there. And I don't know if you want to pause and wait a minute for that to evaporate, or
One pass. You get one pass.
you can do 2 passes, but just be warned, if you need a second pass, you're going to get kind of a jerkiness look in it because it skims over so fast. What I found is if you have a section that you need to hit again, and I do this for the long sections too. If this was a long section, the door wasn't here, I would wait here now until the glass cleaner dried, and I would start at that end and come down and stop somewhere in the middle, and I would do that section. And then I would connect the two in the middle once the glass cleaner on both sides is dried so it would stick. And if you butt up right next to it neatly, and when you spray the glass cleaner on it, you're not going to be able to tell you did that in three sections. If you have a section that you missed there, just come back after it's dry. This is going to tack up pretty quickly. Like in a half hour, you're going to be able to come back and put a little dab in there. Just put your little dab in there, spray the glass cleaner over it, and take your finger and rub over it. Just don't push real hard because it's not cured underneath. And it's going to look really good. You're not going to know that you went back over it again. Tape. You do not need tape. Tape is time consuming. You're going to spend 3 days doing your rig if you start putting blue tape everywhere. Plus, when you put blue tape on there, when you pull that tape off, you're going to have a hard edge. So this is going to give you a nice smooth edge, and it's starting to dry up now. You can come by and look at it, walk and look at it, and you'll see it's drying up, and it's going to be a nice smooth line right up against the body panel there. Yes, sir.
I think my wife said when I was going to town for a while, it's not going to matter if we're there when you start on mine.
Okay. No, sir. No, it's fine.
You know where it
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I tried that with that Lexel.
Hey, Leon. You're doing large vertical runs. Okay.
Like right here on this
Okay.
cap. Do you do your sections from the top down,
Yes.
or do you go bottom up?
Yeah, so I'll strip it off, but let me just grab it and we'll do a vertical. All right, so somebody asked about Virgil asked about a vertical section. I don't have it stripped down yet, but it's pushed in pretty good, and I would definitely put more on there. So let me just do a vertical section, and when I get ready to do this section over here, I'll just strip it off again. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean it, make sure that I've got the press done. We'll go from about midway of the black layer down. This is just a wax remover from the paint shop or auto parts store. Times I can do it in one pass. So, but yeah, the denatured alcohol is fine. If you do anything on your rig with Goo Gone or mineral spirits, it leaves a real slick film behind. So you got to come behind it because you're not prepped, you're not ready to put anything on it. So that should be dry now. So we'll go and we'll do a vertical run now. Same deal. All I'm going to do is, that's really ugly there, so I'm going to strip this off. I've only had this rig a couple months now, but I'll start right below that ugliness there, and start right here. And what I'm doing is trying to get a nice, slow, consistent bead without putting too much in there, because you're going to pull it all off. So there's no sense in wasting it. The stuff is about $11 a tube, $10 and some change a tube. And what I like to do, instead of just going straight finger on something with a wide gap like this, I'll turn my finger sideways so I'll get more of a wider bead. If I want a thin bead, I'll turn my finger straight. If I want a wider bead here, so I'm just going to come down. There's my excess right there. Because I have mineral spirits on my finger, this stuff sticks to everything. It's going to just wipe right off of my finger. My finger's clean. And because that's a vertical run, you can see how clear that is right there and how straight it is. I would start at the very top and work my way down because it's
there, come over here.
Yeah. because gravity's going to pull everything down and run everything down.
Yep.
So you're going to have glass cleaner running down and everything else. So I would start, now that there I would position the ladder and I would run that whole section at once. When you first start off, start in small sections, but when you get the hang of it within 20 minutes, go ahead and go a little bit longer, because by spraying the glass cleaner on top of it, it gives you a few extra minutes from the skimming over. But I would never go over it a second pass. The second pass is just going to, it'll work, it's going to seal, but it's just going to make the finished product look ugly. How's that look? All right.
Looks like I need to get on your list.
On your list for what? Silicone? Oh. So, any other questions on the silicone? You want some close-ups or anything of that, or? And this is now starting to film up and cure and skim over on the top here. And you can see right there, if you notice where I hesitated a little bit. That's how sensitive this stuff is. You can see every little thing that you do. So it's all about technique.
You gotta be committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, is all this original on your rig?
Everything here is original. The previous owner, he didn't do anything but wash it with dirty brushes and put swirl marks everywhere.
That's what it looks like after it starts to fail.
Yes, and we're going to go over that strip next of it filling there, and that happened between Texas and coming up here for the rally. It looks like I busted several screws. I don't know exactly how many, but we're going to pull that whole piece off here in a second. All right. Any other questions on silicone before we move over? If you want some help one-on-one or whatever, I'm doing 2 removals today, and one today and finishing up one today, and probably start another one tomorrow. So, you know, come by and find me, and I can show you on their rig again if you wanted some more know-how or see how I do it. All right.
Yeah, Neff's working on yours. Too busy on ours.
I know, man. I'm sorry. You're waiting on silicone, aren't you? Okay. Now over here,